And this little kid was going, "Mummy, it made my stomach hot." He looked like Harold Lloyd, man. It was so fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, I got a bum hole. So what?
So what?
Yeah, I got a bum hole. That's hot. Yeah, I got a bum hole. So tight. Yeah, I got a bum hole. That's right. Welcome to another episode of Three Speech Podcast. I'm the Mad Lad of Jihad coming to you live and direct from the Fag Zone. I'm joined today by Mr. Jussie Peanuts coming to us live and direct from the
Straight Zone. I have to say, I did that as in
Which is-
two speech, and then as soon as I saw myself in the camera, I was like, "Oh, I look like a Japanese schoolgirl."
well,
But
you
I
look
meant
like
two speech. I wasn't doing peace. I
holding
would
your
never do so.
holding your hands up like that makes you like you should be in the Fag Zone with me.
No, that's like that. Hold your hand up like that. That's
For
what you
listeners,
like.
Justin is doing a fisting motion.
Oh yeah, and also, can I just say, Darius, the pod host is such a massive pussy. I ate a tiny bit of chocolate, and to defend his sensibilities, I had to put my microphone on mute. Otherwise, he would have had a hissy fit.
Listen, you know about my oral phobias. I hate.
That's called something.
I hate people
Spitting out
brushing,
jizz.
people brushing, people brushing their teeth, swallowing, and clapping, chewing noises. Hate
Is that why
those
you
things.
moved back from America? You couldn't stand everyone brushes their teeth too much.
Just I don't. I don't mind if I hear someone in a movie or something, someone else brushing their teeth.
Do you imagine? Okay, we did talk about this briefly on the Patreon, but do you imagine the particles of disgusting food coming out, or is it just the sound?
It's literally the noise in my ear.
What
I
about
can
this?
hear... Yeah, I hate that noise as well.
Yeah,
But-
I think something happened to you and it sounded like that when you were young.
Well, no, that wasn't.
Did
that
someone
wasn't
stick a toothbrush up your ass?
That one's not so bad. It's this one.
Mm.
Do you want me to do the most annoying? I'll do it for you.
Yeah. It won't
Right.
bother me. That's the thing.
It will bother you.
How
Sorry.
did you get on when your daughter was start? Because did you struggle feeding your daughter? Because babies
No.
kind of do that. Because they ain't got no teeth.
No, it's when I hear people. You know when you're sat opposite them and you just, or like I was at, I was getting to fight at some Chinese restaurant because some guy. There's a fucking way you slurping
That's
your noodles.
cultural. They do that, but then they ain't got spoons. So how are you going to get a load of liquid in your mouth without doing that? If you think
Listen,
about it.
anyway, that doesn't matter. We were talking. What else were we talking about?
Oh, we were talking about the. Well, we were just getting into the hypocrisy of the news and how the news isn't the news anymore, is it?
Yeah.
When
about
you-
thing-
Well, when you used to read a newspaper, it was obvious what was the news, and then there would be a picture of a person. It would be a column, and that is an opinion piece. That's what he thinks. He hasn't got
Well,
any. Now all the news is that.
Yeah.
Depends who owns the thing. So who owns the like if it's Murdoch or whoever, it's like you have to toe their line, don't they? Independent journalism is online and they just shut you down.
Well, talking about the news, I was on GB News on last Sunday. I was on Headliners, and we spoke about Tommy Robinson. Don't know if you saw that.
I did see that.
Which actually, I didn't actually see the video before I went on air. But my impression, which was funny, my impression of it was like it was a is there a thing on his free speech?
Publicity stuff. Oh no,
No,
definitely. No,
Like,
definitely.
they just arrested him under Section 20.
But do you
whatever
know
they-
what he was doing there? He was there covering it as a journalist.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
He wasn't talking or anything. Just
Yeah,
his
I know. He was
presence.
just there. And
Yeah.
So, I mean, what I found was funny was that they were like, he's like, I'm pro-Israel, I'm anti-Muslim. Like, no, we don't want you either. So it's funny in that sense, but from my kind of sensibilities, like what they did was, I was like, you can't just stop someone because you don't like them.
Well, like he said at the time, he was going on about the public are sick of this two-tier policing, and it is true. Like like you take this current very, very, very complex issue, isn't there? And but it's just goodies and baddies in terms of the official line, and one side seems to be getting policed heavier than the other side does, don't they?
Mm.
Like
Well,
like when I watched the one about the 11, the Cenotaph one, the Armistice Day, and I sent that thing, and it was like the police report said, "Oh, the pro-Palestine people were very, very peaceful." There was a load of thugs on the right that were very violent, and it was disappointing. Oh, about 150 of the Palestinian ones broke away and shot fireworks at us. But it was like that was the quote from the police person, and it was like you're just completely sweetening one side.
But
they're all cunts.
I don't understand. Well, they always do that. Talking about the police, there was crazy times at the fag zone. When was this? Yesterday.
It was yesterday.
So, last night, outside the fag zone, an armed gunman run down the street. He was pursued by 3 undercover armed police cars. You know what? They were crashing into every car because it's a narrow street. And I thought my car was parked around the corner. It's flipping parked on the same road.
You've been hit, man.
I haven't actually. They managed to avoid it. However, the one they hit.
When you filmed that one with the wing damage, I thought that was your car.
No.
It looks like your car, doesn't it?
Yeah, but that's where I usually park. But I didn't. Should we watch the video, see what happened? I haven't actually.
Can I just say this made me laugh because you sent this footage and I went, oh, so the assailants were in the white car, and you went, no, that was the police car. But when I watched it back, I was like, Darius, the policeman is pulling the doors open and sort of like pointing his gun in. He wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, but where were the people? They must have got out and run away.
Got out and run. Yeah, they got out and run away. Oh, here we go. That's not a sandwich anyone wants.
I'm done. Yeah, what I've done. What have I done? How do I get rid of that?
You've never been on a skateboard in your life. What are you wearing that hat for?
What are you talking about? I love skateboarding.
I've still got my limited edition Matt Hensley H Street skateboard out the back.
I'm a great skateboarder. Do you not know I'm a great? I'm trying to fucking figure out how to do
I'm better than you at skateboarding.
I'm the best skateboarder in the world. Why just...
then I'm not. I didn't realise that.
Oh, here it is.
I'm not even top 10.
Is that full screen on your video?
The thing's full screen, but you've shot that in portrait, haven't you, you amateur?
Well, yeah, that's how people shoot it. Let's watch it.
Right, I suppose it is now.
So this is right outside from the factory. Cop going in. That's a white BMW.
Yeah, everyone's all right, don't worry. Laugh.
It was funny. So if you're listening to this, basically, there's a cop with a gun holding it to a white.
He's basically, like the way the SAS stormed through a building, clearing every room. He's doing that. He's pointing his gun in.
They did that, and another guy ran down the street with like a machine gun. I said to you,
I said, so the criminals are in the white car. You went, no, that's a police car. I'm thinking, well, I don't think so.
But I don't understand. The police. Well, let's continue watching. The best thing about this is. Oh yeah, there's a damage.
I thought that was your car.
They fucked up. Look at the other car. They fucked that car up. This is when actually having that car there. See that white one?
Yeah.
And that black car there. I think he banged into the back, maybe. Oh no, he didn't.
That's the police car as well. They've both got flashing. Oh, that's the one. That's the proper unmarked, the white one.
Yeah. No, that's the one that you said they're checking.
Sorry, yeah. That was definitely a chase. There's an armed gunman on the loose. We'll deal with it after, right?
That's the funniest bit. Wait.
What's going on in this fucking
just watch that. Someone just went up to the cop. That's right. So just to put this in perspective, right? Massive car chase, banging all the cars, crashing into them. Armed police, like literal armed police, like loads of them running down. Then some guy walks out of the house, goes, I want to go over there. And he went, and then if you listen carefully, this is what the policeman says. Listen. Yeah, mate, there's an armed gunman on the loose. We'll deal with it after, right? He says, I want to go. He goes, there's an armed gunman on the loose. Deal with it after. The guy stays there, starts harassing me. There's an armed gunman. Like, I'm trying to do my fucking job. And it's like, I need to go down the street. Let's see. Police was like, I can't deal with a fag zone residents.
As soon as you and your mates saw them lights flashing, you done some poppers and started dancing. Didn't you?
Yeah, we were dancing in the fag zone, so what? Maybe this is not so exciting.
No, but the mad thing is, I think
It was like
I'm so-
GTA.
yeah, I'm so sort of like sheltered. Maybe I would think this would be on the news. It's just like another night in London now. It's getting worse, isn't it?
Well, I have to say it's the first time an armed gunman's ever run down the street pursued by 3 undercover or 2. I don't understand.
Seem like
Maybe
a
it's
big deal.
Well,
It's
now
a big deal to me. I'm saying
now it's
everyone's
starting
just
to be a big deal. They're coming. That car's mashed up. But maybe this isn't the most. Here they all come. Those guys are there
time,
just
didn't
looking. You see those 3 guys they're just wandering around, just harassing the cops. Like it's a gunman. They didn't even leave. And then
Oh no, we can steal your messages.
Oh, nothing to see. I think that's drugs or something. That's
Yeah,
come
they're
out of the
looking
boot.
for him, aren't they?
Yeah.
So some poor entrepreneurs, you know, who don't come from a privileged background, are just trying to make the best of their life, going around slinging heroin, and the police and the man gets involved.
We don't know if they were not from a privileged background. We don't know that.
Well, they wouldn't be. Well, that's actually true, isn't it? But I don't know. I think their drugs were in a farm foods bag, so I'm guessing they weren't.
Yeah, well, you might be right. Yeah, then I got bored.
Yeah, of
This
course
is
you did.
why.
You got off the Alvans.
This is why I need a better phone so I can record stuff like this. That's not too bad.
Haven't you got like a £1,000 camera in your?
Oh yeah, but I didn't have time to take that out.
No, you didn't. You
Look
didn't.
at
This
that.
is good enough. Look at them making a mess.
Let's go through. But also, look, all of these guys are undercover. They're all the police.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was exciting times in the fags.
It was quite. It would be exciting, but also it'd be really annoying if it was earlier in the day and you had to go somewhere. It was lucky it was at night. Imagine if you had to go, so you wouldn't be able to leave the flat, would you?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it would have been fucking.
Get back inside.
To be honest, they were quite. People were just wandering out and get back
That's what I'm
inside,
saying.
and they were like, "Nah, it's a gunman," and they were like,
This is what I'm saying,
Yeah,
Gareth.
but we want to know what's happening.
Mate, Norwich is no picnic. I mean, about 2 weeks ago, the house opposite, they'd put their bin right in the middle of the pavement. That was quite difficult to get round. So I'm no hard. You know, I know the struggle is real, but like everyone just was so blasé about armed gunmen on the loose and police chases. Like I don't know.
I wasn't. I flushed all my drugs down the toilet. I was shit scared.
Yeah. All your Alvans, all your sachets of Nescafe. Get it out! I'm done with it. I'm turning over a new leaf.
All the poppers. I went, they're onto me. They've come.
Yeah, they're coming for you, man. But what about your mate winning the £10,000 prize?
Alistair Williams, congratulations to him. He won the British Comedian of the Year. I was in, you know what? I was in the semi-final with him, and he went through. He was the he was the best on the night. He deserved to go through. It was me and one other came second and third. I came third, but I actually think I feel hard done by. The other person brought...
Some of these competitions are like surreptitious bringers.
Well, so this competition is an audience vote, right? Obviously, I've got no friends who want to go. I've got no friends here, but I've got none who want to come and watch
And your
me.
friends would vote against you.
Yeah, they would vote against me, for funny. Anyway, the guy who came second, who went through, who is a good comedian, did do well, brought 12 people. So there was 100 audience members. So that's over 10% of the vote. And if his friends are smart, you choose first and second, right? So if his friends were smart, they would have chose him first, and they would have chose someone other than me or
Dog shit
Alistair.
second, yeah.
Dog shit second. So it's not actively not only getting not 10% of the vote, I'm actively not getting another vote. Anyway, I spoke to the promoter because I didn't know that and I went, is there like what happens? Oh, don't worry, we look at it. And he goes, oh, but he only brought 12 people. That's over 10% of the vote.
Yeah, mad.
And he beat me on the audience vote by about 8%, allegedly, or whatever the fuck. So it was the difference maker.
His friends made the difference, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And then he was like, yeah, but we could... I was like, so I felt hard done by. I think I would have done well if I...
Can I just say, I gigged with him. It's funny because I was thinking of last time I gigged with him, and it was actually, you know, when we did
But just to clarify before you say that, I'm not talking about Alistair. Alistair was brilliant on the night.
No, you're not. Yeah. You said that.
Alistair was great, and he got.
No, you said he was the best on that. I think that was clear.
I think also the bit of luck Alistair did get, he got to choose. I think he got the first choice to where he went on the spot. He put himself right in the middle, which is the best spot. And the first 3 acts were shit.
But I've heard he was so good it wouldn't have mattered. That's the word on the street.
He was brilliant. He was brilliant.
On the final, I heard.
Man,
really.
I honestly think. I mean, I don't know. I think. Well, the final wasn't. It was weird. It wasn't the strongest lineup. He's an idiot. I
haven't ever entered that competition. Otherwise,
well, you entered this competition. You pulled out, and I did your spot. That's the only reason I did it. I won't do it again.
You know, the thing is, difference is people pay me to do.
Well, the only reason I did it is because you pulled out, and it's around the corner, or I wouldn't have done it.
Yes.
And I spoke to him. I'll give you a bye to the semi-final. So what's the point? You're just gonna.
I gigged with him. Yeah. You know when we did the CBD pool one and it didn't work, and I went off to a gig. I was on with him that night because I remember I gave him one of them CBD cigarettes, and he's a nice guy. But I've got to say, not even him as an individual. I'm so pleased. I'm pleased with him as an individual as well, of course I am. But I'm so pleased that someone who is so outside the machine has won something like this. When it's down to the actual public, and that was a public vote, and I don't think there was any skullduggery there. That was a genuine.
No, that
audience.
was in the final. That was
exactly. But that's so. If that audience was all full of cabal gatekeepers and producers, he would have come ranked rock bottom, because he's an outsider. And I think it shows the backlash is well underway.
He was great, but to be honest, the backlash against like woke and all that stuff, man. You know what? Who told me about this was Michelle Deswart ages ago. And she said it was maybe 2019, 2018. And she said it's dead. It's just taking its time. And it died.
Yeah, definitely.
It died, but everyone was woke. And even now they're still pushing it. And it's just look at it. The Marvels flopped. The Eternals flopped.
They reckon Disney just took an L from Elon Musk has told them to go fuck themselves, and they reckon Disney so many people are unsubscribing.
Flopped. The new Doctor Who, I don't know look, I don't really care that much. I don't watch Doctor Who, but these morons, it's going to flop again because they came out and I don't know if you know much. Do you know anything about the Davros and the Daleks? So basically, Davros, right?
I know about Davros. Yeah,
So the reason I know about Davros is because my mate, who I used to play football with, who's an old guy. He was called Davros. I was like, "What the fuck is your name, Davros?" And he goes, "I look like Davros." But Davros is the leader of the Daleks, real evil guy, and he was in a wheelchair, but that wasn't his thing. He was an ugly, disgraced, evil.
No, it was a bottom half of a Dalek.
Yeah, half a Dalek, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, in the new thing, they made Davros just a normal guy. Obviously a white guy because he's a baddie, but able-bodied. And then the showrunner went, or the producer went, we don't want people thinking handicapped people are evil. Who the fuck looked at Davros or someone in that thing and went, they're evil because they're in a wheelchair. And so that's going to flop. But all this woke
you know what they would have had to have done? I think this is probably true. I don't know anything about it until said that. They probably would have had to have get a disabled actor. You can't have an able-bodied actor now playing someone who hasn't got any legs. That's they sort of do all that sort of that thing now, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's why Disney got rid of the dwarves. They're just
But they backtracked on that now, right? Because the backlash to they called it Snow White and not the dwarves, Snow White and the fucking multi-racial, multicultural, diverse.
Yeah, I'm surprised they stayed with Snow White, to be honest with you.
But Snow White was going to be played by a Spanish.
Yeah, she's annoying, isn't she? She is annoying.
She pissed everyone off so much that I think Disney are contemplating pulling it totally and completely because it's just gonna lose money. No one wants I don't know what's so hard. All people want is good stories. I know as the Critical Drinker, if you don't watch him, I always watch him. He's the best. He calls it the message. Stop trying to shove it down our throat. So and the whole general population is sick and tired of it as well.
I can't think of that woman's name, but I've seen her on like red carpet junkets, just being the most annoying little twat of all time. Going, it was really weird. There was a guy, and she falls in love with a guy. I mean, who needs a guy? Weird. And it's like, what the fuck is Snow White and the Prince Charming? It's like, what the fuck, man?
Why? If you think that, well, this is how bad it is.
Make
right?
a new story.
That's the thing. People no one. You know what it is? People love real diversity. They love real like Blade is a wicked black character, right? One of my favorites. And I never looked at Blade and went, oh, he's black. I thought he's a fucking cool character.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So, and if they were to like make Blade white, it would be dog shit. That's not how it works. But he's a wicked own IP. Miles Morales, same. Black.
We do seem to have gone backwards in terms of diversity, and that now it's more about it seems to be exclusive rather than inclusive. Why are they doing that? Because it seems to be a concerted effort to go, instead of it being a melting pot where, like you just said, you don't even really consider or notice the background of different characters or people. Now it's front and center and like sold on that, isn't it? It seems to be like in the bio for a film, it'd be like, oh, this film centers around Darius Davies, a man of Iranian descent in London. It's like, this seems like we're sort of like, I don't know, edging away from a kind of like melting pot and back towards disparate sort of factions. But it seems concerted. I don't understand the end game.
I mean, it definitely is. It's being pushed. It's being pushed.
For what ends?
Well, I don't know, but like but basically right now you've got places like especially in American universities, like this is like only for black people. This section.
Or a day. They had a non-white day. That's when it all started.
Yeah. And you're like, wait a minute.
Was it Weinstein wouldn't do it and he went in and that was when he got chucked out or something?
Well, and you're thinking stuff, isn't this exactly what Martin Luther King
content of your character, not the colour of your skin. Yeah.
So I mean,
it's easy for me to say that. That obviously, I'm just sort of steel manning or whatever what the opposite people would say. It'd be always easy for you to say that, but it's like I'm not saying it's easy, but I just think that where you were heading of everyone just accepting each other on their ability and trying to just forget, or not forget, you should never forget your background, but sort of like not really sort of like factor that into how you judge someone. That might be a more difficult road, but I think the destination is better than a destination where we're all just othering each other and just, they're them, I'm us, they're them, they're them.
Well,
and
I think it's making the drive to make the world more progressive and more inclusive, like you said, it's making the world more, well, not exclusive, but more it's becoming more racist. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Disparate. It's like factions now, isn't it? Tribal.
But it's making people.
Why
more
are they
racist.
pushing tribalism so much? Well, I think that we were in the 90s. We were further away from tribalism than we are now. Now I think we're getting rounded up into. I'm pushed into a group. I don't want to be a gammon. I don't like it when people call me a gammon. Can I just be like a human boy? Have I got to be a gammon because
gammon
I've got a big pink face that looks like a massive bit of ham? Well, that's not my problem, is it? Well, not my fault, I should say. Blame my parents, man.
But I think it's making people more racist.
Oh yeah, well, it's more divisive. If it's not race, it's now. The weird thing is, like the Russia and Ukraine wars, like everyone flying a Ukraine flag. It's like they're definitely like, but this like Israel-Palestine conflict. It's like so that's not even a race issue, is it? Like you've got to like come down on the side of, are you pro-lockdown or vaccine or anti? Are you pro-Israel? Are you pro-Palestine? It's like I don't really want to be
pro-Palestine.
Yeah, I know you are, and that's fine.
All day, every day.
Look, I don't.
Oh, I'll tell you something about that. But go on.
Yeah. But I'm saying I would never be a cunt to someone who had the opposite opinion to me on a very binary issue. I'd just be like, oh yeah, yeah, and I just that's such a powerful way to go through life. And that's when I see all these people bickering and drawing lines and like spending their lives, and like when I just look at them, I just don't give a shit, mate. If someone says something to me and they think, and again, it's easy for me because I don't think I've really got a sore spot. There's nothing anyone could say to me that I'd be like clutching my pearls and offended. Do you know what I mean? But that's a choice. I don't know if it's luck, actually. That's the way I choose to view things. And everyone could do that.
I think people now, especially social media and the drive of social media and the younger generations, people in their teens and their 20s and their 25s, right? But because of social media, they lack the nuance and critical thinking, and they think if someone thinks against them or thinks different to them, they're absolutely wrong, can't even debate, and they're idiots and I hate them and da-da-da. But you know what it is? It's just because they're young. Like I remember, but it's because they're young, but now they've got social media. I remember when I was 19, 20, I've always been pro-Palestine, right? And I am pro-Palestine. But when I was 19 and 20, I was like, in my brain, I was militantly pro-Palestine. You couldn't, I couldn't even see it from Israel's point of view. Like, no, they're always in the wrong, 100%. But as you get older, you realize that it's not so, it's not as, but there's shades of grey. And like,
that's empathy, isn't it? You get a bit of empathy for a bit of opposition.
Yeah, and there's like, you think, wait a minute, people's children are actually dying, and the mother who buries their child, regardless of what side at that point, probably thinks that is what a waste of my child's life over a bit of like ground, over a bit of soil, absolute shit, right?
The trouble with over there is it's more than that, because I've been there a couple of times, and they do think it's the birthplace of God. That's what Jerusalem.
Well, some of them. Obviously, if you kill a militant
but
settler,
it's not just like to us.
But if you kill I'm saying, if you kill a militant settler child, or if you kill a militant like Islamic Hamas fundamentalist child, yeah. But if you kill like just a regular civilian from either side, their child, at that point they don't give a shit about.
No, that's true. That's true.
The ground. They only care about the fucking
personal loss.
They're bearing their kids, right? The difference. So the difference is, when I was 19 or 20, social media wasn't egging me on, wasn't
For interactions.
But now, you know what I mean? It wasn't encouraging, and it wasn't amplifying it, and it wasn't like, and it wasn't part of my identity. It was like something I think, and then as you grow older, you grow out of it, and you get nuanced, and you can look at stuff from other perspectives. But now also, then, you get the other sides, both sides do this. So you got the TikTok like generation, and then you got like the right wing media pushing back, and they're all the same. And the reality is, there's like a nuance to all of these things. Of course
there is, but this is the thing that doesn't sell. This is right. If you're on social media, and if you're active on social media,
if you want to tell, I want to tell you something before I forget about pro-Palestine, right?
Propecia.
I'm doing this.
I'm pro-Philistine.
So I'm doing this gig with Dankula. Actually, Leo and I are doing a gig on the 15th of December called Cancelled at Christmas. It's in London. We don't know where. They haven't released the venue because they're scared it's going to get cancelled. Anyway, so come to that if you're listening. 15th of December, Cancelled at Christmas with Count Dankula, me, Leo and I. Anyway, Leo.
How mad is it?
But hold on, but listen to this, right? Just to say, because we think all left winger bitches, but all right, I think the left and they're a fucking little bitch. Because then on Leo posted a video and a clip saying I'm doing this gig on the 15th of December, come down, and then one of Leo's listeners or fans or whatever the fuck they are went, Darius is pro-Palestine, like at Count Dankula, just so you know, Darius is pro-Palestine. I was like, ooh, I'm telling you, fucking little bitch. Ooh,
so what's it, one of the freedom of speech lot are trying to
silence,
get you cancelled?
Exactly.
The anti-cancellation people.
You fucking little bitch. Like, listen.
That's Animal Farm, isn't it?
I just want everyone listening to this podcast to know something about me, and then I'll let you go. I'm not right wing. I'm not left wing. Yeah? I'm right wing on some things. I'm left wing on some things, right? I make my fucking mind up. I have my principles, and I live by them. I try my best to live by them. I try not to talk behind people's back. I try to not stab people in the back, right? I'm pro-Palestine all day, every day. And if you don't want me to do your gig because of that, I don't want to do your gig because of that. And if you're a little bitch, you're like, oh, Count Dankula, the pro-Palestine. I'll tell it to Count Dankula's face.
course you
Dude,
would.
Of course I would. You're fucking stupid. But
Look-
it was, to be fair, Leo was like, "Oh, fuck off! It's a comedy night, you fucking mom."
Yeah. That's the thing. The thing is, I think I've come to the realization that left and right wing is just this big illusion used for controlling the masses. Like if you you go, oh, I'm a left wing person, right? So I know you list 20. Like there's a left wing person here, right wing person here. In the middle was a list of 20 issues, and I could go through and tell you where they stand on each of them issues. What sort of human? Like, so you're telling me if you say that half of the people, let's make it simple, half the people in this country are left wing, half are right wing. There's only two types of people. There's only two ways to see every issue. And the person that thinks immigration should be stopped also thinks that children shouldn't be transitioned. They're both right wing talking points. It's like you could clearly think the opposite on both of those things and be one individual person, but they make us pick a side. And I had a thought when you were talking about young people and how everyone's getting angry. I think it's a human thing that we want tribalism, we want to get angry. Think about a bloke like you, right? So you have a happy life. So you got a happy life, you're married, you got kids, you're doing well at work or whatever. You choose to support Arsenal. Why? Because you go watch Arsenal. When they win, they feel great. When they lose, you feel deep sadness. You know, them people that really love football, they're crushed when their team loses. It's like we go out of our way to pick a side on something as trivial as football or whatever. And people are now doing that because of social media, arguing political points. It's like, I don't want to be a politician. I never wanted to be a politician. I want to try and make people laugh. Some people think I'm funny. Some people think I ain't funny. That's up to them. And that even gets used against you, doesn't it, in comments? Like, so-called comedian, he ain't funny. It's like, but that's just, no, I'm not a so-called comedian. It's how I paid my bills.
Can I just say, just for the listeners or viewers, the most hurtful thing you can do to a comedian is call them a so-called comedian comedian in quotes. There's no coming back from that.
Yeah.
If you call a comedian in quote marks, that's it. We're like, oh, he's got us there. He's got us there.
I don't like Ed Sheeran, but I wouldn't call him a so-called musician. He's definitely a musician. I just don't like him. I don't know why it's ISIS and comedians are the only so-called, isn't it?
What do you mean?
They say so-called Islamic State because they don't want it to sound official.
Oh, it's like
people
X,
go when you
formerly known X, formerly known as Twitter. Every way they say that now.
Yeah. But it's like you go Elon Musk, so-called billionaire. It's like, no, he's a billionaire. You just don't like him, but don't you just like try and strip that away from you. But but that's my point. And also, we are billboards. If you're on social media, like if you're not promoting a particular thing like a business, like we are promoting our business of being comedians, which I don't really do, or if you sell cupcakes, if you're just on there as like a talking head or just like a person just arguing, you are just a billboard. And the more interactions you have, the bigger your billboard is for them to project their adverts onto you. That's all it is. You are a commodity in the social media machine. You ain't changing the world. You're not putting things out there. All you're doing is creating more interaction, more buzz, and a bigger platform for the machine to advertise their shit to other people. Have a bit of chocolate.
Don't eat Jordan Mike, the most annoying thing in the world, as you know. I'm trying to limit my social media usage as well, because I think doom scrolling, just wasting so much time. I'm like, nah, that's just shit.
Yeah, I mean, you get to a point where when you're younger and you doom scroll and you start going, oh, I'm actually quite a passionate person. I actually feel quite incensed by this, and it's kind of quite reassuring. Then it gets to a point where you're like, oh, I've seen all this before. Nothing good's going to come of it. I stopped hate watching comedy. I used to hate watch comedy. I always had this thing what I'd say to people.
Hate watch.
If someone had said to me back then when I started, because I started really thinking when I started doing stand-up, like, what sort of person am I? What's my, not in terms of my voice on stage, but just sort of like, how do I approach it?
I never did this, and I've never done that as a person.
No, I meant as a person, individual. But I realised something, and I came up with this sort of thought experiment or an example that summed me up perfectly. If someone gave me 2 DVDs, right, and each one was a comedian, and I hadn't heard of either of them, and they said, you can only watch one of these. This DVD A, is the greatest stand-up set of all time. Like, it would never be bettered. It's perfection. It's the best stand-up will ever be done. Or B is the worst it could ever be. I would have watched B. Because I found it more entertaining. And that's not me wanting to put people down. But I just find that hate. I like bad films. I like bad I used to.
You know what? I never... So there's obviously comedians send around other comedians dying or doing shit or whatever. I never particularly enjoy watching that.
Not in the room. You're right. In the room is terrible.
No,
and
but
I feel bad
I
for
don't
them.
enjoy watching, like, I don't even watch it. Just like, I don't like watching, like, someone sends me, oh, this is stand up so shit. It's like,
I don't
it's
anymore.
like
You're right. You're right.
but
I was
I've
wrong.
never really liked that kind of thing. I just find it boring just to watch a.
Well, you're used to it
But I mean,
because
I'll watch a video if someone like throws a glass at a comedian or something like that. That's exciting. But I'll never like, oh, this comedian's doing like.
I'd
bad
have knocked
comedy.
him out. I'd have knocked him out.
What if someone?
I'm
threw a
not
glass?
having that.
What's the most violent? What's the worst altercation you've had on stage?
Me on stage.
Yeah.
I've never had one. The closest I've come. I was doing one in Nottingham, and there was this bloke in the front, and I said, "This wasn't that long ago. I was MCing, and my MC style is I'm just a cunt. Like I get away with it, but I don't try and be nice. I don't try and be likable. I set my stall out early, and I just take the piss. But I try not to take the piss. I don't know if this is too, but I don't take the actual piss. So if I ask someone what they do, and they say what they do, I don't take the piss out of what they do. I'll pretend that I've got it slightly wrong and I've misunderstood, and I take the piss out of the thing so it's adjacent to them. So that's my sort of trick to get away with it. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's my
actually,
trick.
I'm the butt of the joke. Because I'll go, what do you do? And they'll go, oh, electrician. And I go, what would it? And I'll say something wrong, and I'll take the piss out of the thing. And it's a bit of, maybe it's cheating. It's a bit best of both worlds. I get to go on these sort of rants, but my target's slightly off. I'm missing them on purpose. Anyway, I spoke to this bloke, and he was being a twat and talking. And this is so sort of like inoffensive. I don't know why he got the ump. He's pissed. I go, what do you do? He goes, I work for BBC. And he gave me this look, and I went, oh, fuck off. No, you don't. And he just went 1,000-yard stare, arms folded, hated me. That's all I said. In the interval, he come looking for me. And he was going, you all right, pal? You all right, pal? And I went, yeah, you. I think he thought I was going to back down, but I just didn't. I didn't front up to him. I just went, yeah, you. And he went, I do work for the BBC. And I went, oh, cool, yeah, doesn't matter. Just comedy night, mate. And then, because I didn't give him anywhere to go with it, he walked off. And I heard him saying to the woman who was sort of like, on the door, I do work for the BBC, And I was like, that was the closest I've ever got to sort of like, but he actually came to find me in the interval. And I think it could have escalated, but I'm quite good at just going, all right, yeah. That's the most disarming thing you can do to someone, is just give them nothing. Do you know what I mean? Well, that's not a very good story, but that's all I've got.
I've had people.
Yeah, I know you have, clearly.
Well, I'm just
Go
looking.
on, which one? You give us your top 10 altercations on stage.
Well, one time I had a guy throw a beer at me. Actually, I think I've had two guys throw a beer at me, and one guy's come on stage to fight me. One guy was just at the backyard club, and he was just drinking through the. He was just drunk. It was like summertime, and there was like a whole table of like drinks.
It can be like that there, can't it?
Yeah, and he was talking through the whole show, and I was doing well. I was killing it. Then he was just, for some reason, instead of just ignoring it and doing the show, I switched, and I was like, well, shut up. And then he kind of clapped back a bit. And then I was like, heckling it. And then I was roasting him. And his girlfriend or something was like, his mum just died. And I was like, yeah, well, go home and mourn, you fuck.
Yeah, he told me this. Yeah.
Why are you at a comedy gig? I didn't believe him, but it was a lie.
No, it's bullshit. Of course it was.
Of course it wasn't fucking.
So this bloke didn't work at the BBC. He was like trying to
Yeah. So then he had to get on stage and pretend like, oh, he was a hard man, but he was a midget. So I was waiting for the security to come, but the security backyard just stood there like, nah, it's fine. So I was like, all right, fuck it, then I'll fight the guy. And then everyone went, oh no! And then I was the baddie. Then I didn't get booked there for years.
You can't win. When you're on stage, you can't fight back. Like, Jim Jeffries got punched. That one you posted of Jerry Sadovich got punched.
Oh, yeah.
I think I don't think I've ever seen one. I suppose, Chris Rock got slapped. If he'd have slapped Will Smith, you cannot be. It's a really weird sort of like status on stage, because you're high status. Obviously, you're the one on stage. You've got the microphone. You're under the lights. They're all facing that way. You're facing that way. They're listening to you. But you've got to be. I don't think you could dominate someone verbally. You can, but I think if you overpowered a if someone stormed the stage and the comedian beat the shit out of them, I kind of feel like it would fuck you up rather than be the launch pad of your career like it was for Jim Jeffries. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a really fine line you're on, isn't it?
So I'm just looking at Twitter to see what's trending, because we're doing this on the Friday, so we can do something topical. And Andrew Neil's trending.
Is that old Scottish geezer?
Yeah, and someone's posted a thing. Of him saying it's time to punish Britain's 5 million vaccine refuseniks. They will put us all at risk of more restrictions. So
Who? Andrew Neil said that.
Yeah, why shouldn't we curb some of their freedoms? Fat fuck.
Are you joking?
That's what he said. He said that during the lockdown, 2021. It's a top thing.
But he's not. What is he? What wing is he? I don't even really know with him.
Well, he was one of the founding members of GB News, and then he quit,
but he's also from the Spect. Because I saw him and he got into a bit of a spat or a sort of little bit of a go with Ben Shapiro.
Oh, really?
Who was going, oh, you're left wing, you're just clear leftist. He's going, I'm not. Oh, he's right wing then, isn't he? He's going, no, I'm not. If you'd have done your research, you'd have known I was the editor of The Spectator or whatever. Have you ever seen that clip?
No, I'm not seen it.
Yeah. So, and that Ben Shapiro like stormed off. He was it was like this. It was over.
I have seen that, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's right wing, but so there you go. So everyone says people that vaccine deniers is a right wing issue, but at least he's right wing and being a fucking dick on the other side. So that's what proves that you can sort of like, you don't have to sort of like swallow the whole manifesto of your ideology.
So talk about this before we move on to this next subject, sticking with the Israel-Palestine thing. The US has made it now that they're making a law that anti-Zionism is akin to anti-Semitism. What do you think about that?
Well, I think we mentioned it on the Patreon, but it is like that is like saying anti-Nazism is anti-German. It's like, well, Germany was where the Nazi Party took hold, but you wouldn't go like to say I hate the Nazis is to hate Germans. It's an aspect of it's one aspect of a culture, isn't it? Zionism's different to Judaism, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Zionism is a political ideal.
Yeah, exactly. It's a sort of like more of a goal, isn't it? Zionism is sort of like they believe in the state of Israel, isn't it?
Yeah, so I mean, like, at which point can you criticize Israel? When can you criticize them? What
depends who you're talking to. If you're talking to these people on that side, you can do nothing but criticize. If you talk to that side, you can't criticize them at all.
Like, if you're saying anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism,
you mean criticize their actions? Yeah.
At which point can you criticize? This is the problem. At which point can you criticize Israel? Just like you can criticize any other country.
I don't think you can, though. I don't think you can. I don't think that's a very big or a very strong example of the two-tier social system we have, where there are certain things you can criticize and certain things you can't. Or not even criticize. There are certain things that you are expected to back, and there are other things you've got to completely dismiss out of hand. Getting back to that COVID prick, that fucking does annoy me, what he just said, because the people that had the jab cost the NHS more money than the people that didn't.
Oh, that's one thing I don't regret not having the vaccine.
Yeah.
I don't think you've ever met anyone who's not had the vaccine who like, oh, I wish I had the vaccine.
So that's what this guy's doing now, isn't it? He's saying, oh, because they don't regret it, let's make them regret it. Like that.
Oh no, but he said that. Just to clarify, he said that in 2021. That wasn't.
Oh, sorry. I thought he'd just come out and said it now.
Oh, no, not now.
Sorry. Yeah, right.
He's trending because I think he said something on
well, you know when you
BBC,
said I'm going to go on Twitter and look at the recent things and the things that are trending.
So,
I didn't think meant 2 years ago.
No, so what it is he's come on and the top thing is the top tweet that I see is him saying, there's a video of him and he says, you can call for a ceasefire if you want, there won't be one. That's what Andrew Neil said. And someone's retweeted that with the Daily Mail headline saying it's time to punish Britain's 5 million vaccine refuseniks.
Right.
Fuck it. You know what? I can just show you.
I despise what he said, but he can doesn't because he was wrong about that. It doesn't mean he can't have an opinion about now. I'm not saying I agree. No,
but I think that's what this guy's saying. No,
yeah, I know. Of course it is. Like, oh look, you were wrong about this. You must be wrong about everything. That's not how life works, bruv.
Yeah. Well, so that's why I was reading it.
Yeah, but that's Shillism. He probably got paid to say that, or at least sweetened. They was all pushing it. And look, he's writing for the Daily Mail there. That's the thing, innit? They do pay you to write stuff. You're not going to go in there and completely like jettison the sort of like the feeling of that.
It's funny. So you know that cancelled at Christmas Dankula gig. So then underneath that, like some trans activist was like, when's Roy Chubby Brown gonna play? And I was like, I don't know. Here's his listings. Go look at it. Then they were like, what did they say? They said, I don't know. They were trying to be like asking why I'm doing the gig. I'm doing the gig for money. What do you think I'm doing it for?
Same reason.
Don't think I'm performing.
Do you love your job, mate? I'd love to say to them, what do you do for them? They're like, I clean toilets. I'm like, why? Why are you going to stick your hand down a toilet? It's like, oh, the money. It's like, yeah,
it's for money.
It's a job, you fucking idiot. And like, if you bill yourself as political spokesperson, activist, like not even like, I don't know, who's like that, like Mark Steele or like Mark Thomas, right? I've never done that. Just leave me alone. Like, you can say you don't like me, but don't come up. That's like, have you seen that Matt Rife's got a load of shit for his special openings with a domestic violence joke? And
I started watching that because let me have a look.
Shit.
It was shit.
Yeah, shit. I'm not saying it ain't shit.
I didn't watch all of it, but I watched like the fair and I just got bored. So like I said,
but this is the thing, Darius. Saying something you don't like it. So-called comedian Matt Rife. Like,
so-called comedian Matt Rife.
Saying you don't like it in a shit is different to let's cancel him because he made a joke about a woman with a black eye. Like, that's sneaky. It's like, I don't think what he said was that offensive.
It wasn't.
It wasn't funny either. It was hacky.
But no one, but no one cares about that now. That everyone's like, no, it's boring. Ignore it. Well, for me, I don't know if we said it on this one on the Patreon. That guy was like, "Oh, Dankula, it's like the right winger doing it now. So what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, you do. You all do. That's the thing. We will all stoop to the same level, won't we? That turning that Christian thing of turning the other cheek. I never understood that. I'm a very spiteful, vindictive, and vengeful person,
which makes you a great comedian.
Well, it's like if someone slaps you, turn the other cheek. And I'm like, fuck that. I'm more eye for an eye. Yeah, I was. Yeah. But in terms of like things like that, it's like, I hate cancel culture. But if say someone who's really this is the thing. What was so sweet when there was like the people, the left wing, like when Me Too, when some of the left, the very woke people got caught up in Me Too's. Do you know what I mean? Like when the goodies, the white knights are actually groping women. And it's awful that the women got groped. But there is some sort of like, I don't know. I think one thing that human beings really can't deal with is hypocrisy, isn't it? Like the guy that's like, who am I thinking of? What is his name? Chris Coltrane or whatever.
For legal purposes, this is just Justin's opinion.
Oh, fuck. Take that out.
No, I'm taking shit out.
No. Robbie Coltrane.
For legal purposes and to the estate of Robbie Coltrane. Yeah, but his estate still might sue you if you call him a sex pest.
No, I didn't say that. But I'm saying
no one said anyone's a sex pest, especially not
all
Chris
I'm saying
Coltrane.
is, and this is fact, I believe, that you have certain comedians that had a manifesto if you wanted to play their little club. And it was like, there's no punching down, there's no misogyny, no sexism in this. And then there is a rumour about them that makes them disappear. That's what I heard. I never met the guy. But at the time, I was like, but even now, I'm like, oh, he didn't get tried. I mean, he didn't. It is just smoke. I don't know if there was a fire or not, but it's like just because someone who I've seen using distasteful tactics gets brought down by the same distasteful tactics, I shouldn't revel in that really, because that's inconsistent. Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make I don't make any sense.
No, it does make sense. I mean, I try to be as consistent as possible.
It's difficult.
It's difficult.
It is difficult, and sometimes you have to sort of have an uncomfortable conversation with yourself and go, oh, you're only pleased about this because of X, Y, Z, and X, Y, Z might be things that you really don't admit about yourself.
Yeah.
But I was also going back to Alistair. I read the review today.
Oh, yeah, what did it say?
And it said that when he won, he said, I want to thank my Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ. And everyone laughed, thought it was a joke.
We would.
But he is. No, but it said that was in the review. It said everybody laughed, but he meant it. He's actually a devout Christian, and he'd actually got a range of Christian merch or something. But I thought that was quite interesting.
What was the review like? Was it good?
Well, I only read fucking Chortle. Has he ever written a good review? The bloke was illiterate, I think, but it was. You can see he's definitely hitting. This is the thing. This is the irony. He's got nicer because I think he's struggling because people can just put things on social media, and they used to have the forums, and I think the traffic to his website is probably 10% of what it was when I started. So I think he's got nicer, and now he's cozying up to the industry. Where in the beginning he was sort of like the Voldemort of comedy, wasn't he?
I remember when I started comedy, man. I got one of the most, like, his reviews were embittered and vicious. Now that
they're veiled.
Nice.
Yeah, now his reviews, even the ones he didn't like in the final, you can see that he don't slag them off. He's like, oh, it was a shame. This was a little bit more pedestrian. On a night with such strong contenders, this looked a little bit well-trodden. Whereas he used to just go, this bloke's a fucking disgraceful hack, didn't he, or whatever. But I think now he's like, he needs people to he used to get loads of traffic so he could sell advertising for tour shows.
Let's check the Chortle traffic, check website traffic.
Oh, mate, I think anyone outside of comedy doesn't even know what it is. That's what I think about it. It's like the industry paper.
It's like the industry comedy website, but no
one really checks it. It used to be the epicenter, didn't it? Because they had the Chortle forums, and jobs were given, and people would talk and slag people off on there. There was feuds on there. It was great. Did you have an alias?
Huh?
How many aliases did you have?
I had one alias.
Yeah. Everyone had
that
an
was.
I think I know who you were.
Who was I?
Was you Skeletor?
Oh no, that wasn't me.
Well, there was someone with an avatar of Skeletor, and they were just like you.
That wasn't me.
I bet that's Darius.
Well, I was on there and I had a good one, but that wasn't me. Oh, fuck off. Close. Let's see. I'm looking. I'm doing the Chortle gets. Only gives you a snapshot. It gets 150,000 views apparently.
What, a month?
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure if this here. Have a look.
That doesn't mean anything. It could be of all time.
Organic. It says it's actually doing quite well. Maybe it's really good, and we should.
His reviews are great, by the way.
Yeah. Let me tell you how much I like advertising on Chortle.
Yeah. No, I would never advertise on there. I've never been reviewed. I remember when having a Chortle review was kind of like a benchmark of making it to A level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everyone was like, if you had Chortle on your poster, it meant something.
Man, but I don't know if I've probably said this on the podcast before. Everything I thought about, every level I thought, I win the King Gong. That would do it.
Yeah.
Get in the Comedy Store. Get a Chortle review. Get a good Chortle review. And nothing changes.
Do you remember when you had a review-based feud with that woman, and she threatened to cancel you? You were the original cancel person.
I hate that bitch so much. I still to this day.
You're not over it then?
No, I'll never get over it because I saw her one time years afterwards, and I went to shake her hand. And she refused to shake my hand. I didn't even know who the fuck she was. I went, that's weird. I said, I'm so-and-so. I went, oh, yeah, sorry about that. It was a long time ago, whatever. I said, nah, I refuse. I said, if someone offers you their hand and you don't shake it, then, you're...
Yeah, that people wouldn't even got the hump with old Ronda Rousey when she wouldn't shake Misha Tate's hand. But what happened was, Darius got this scathing review, and it was clearly... I'm going to say it. I think it was misandry on her part. Well, I just think she hates men. And because you were quite, well, I don't think so much now, but you were a bit more like a Chris Rock, confident, big performer. You still are, but then even maybe I'll tell you what it was.
I've got worse at comedy.
No. At the time, no one was doing that. At the time, it was Stuart Lee, stuff scribbled on your hand, staring at the floor, rubbing one hand on your head, going, oh, yeah, so penguins. Do you know what I mean? It was all like that. And then you'd come out there going, that's right. Ah, yeah. Like that, right? And she said something in a review like, this is like diamond 10-carat dog shit or something, didn't she? And then you made a joke.
Gold-plated garbage.
gold-plated carpets. Mine's
I'll
better.
never-
But anyway, I should write reviews. But there's a thing where it's a well-known thing, a trope, where artists, it could be performers, will take a word out of context and put it as a quote. So you said,
Gold-plated.
thanks for that. I'm going to put gold-plated. And that's
Yeah.
just clearly
Okay.
you trying to take it well, I think. I don't think you was trying to antagonise her, were you?
Not really.
Not really, maybe a little bit. But it's
Probably.
also a bit like going, look, I've read this. Look, we all know the game we play. I just thought it was a bit sort of like a bit of a, I don't know. I just didn't think, I wouldn't took that. And she said, if I ever see this quote anywhere, I'm going to have you cancelled and I'm going to have the industry shut you down. You'll never work again, sort of thing, didn't she?
Yeah, she made good on that. She told loads of people not to. So then I did this gig,
Where is she now?
man. So that woman, she went she was reviewed for that. Then she kind of set up her own agency. Then she started dating comedians. Now she's just online moaning about her disability. "Oh, I'm disabled," or whatever the fuck is the problem.
You're
with that.
disabled.
I know, but I
You don't moan about
I
it. You
don't
just
moan
game
I-
it.
Well, I don't. It's not a game. It's having a broken back's not a game. I just don't like. You know what it is? People think if you don't talk about you, if you're not your whole personality, then you can't be
Yeah.
disabled. Listen, my back's fucked. Technically, I am
Do
actually
you
disabled.
think
But I
that's-
don't
do
let
you
it hold me.
think-
You know how you say
No, exactly.
having panic attacks is a bit shameful. You kind of feel like that a little bit. That's what you said.
Yeah, yeah.
I genuinely feel ashamed that my back's fucked. I felt ashamed about it. Like it's
You shouldn't feel ashamed of
no,
it,
but
but I know what you
I
mean.
feel like
I know.
that's why I don't mention it. I don't mention I'm
No, and
disabled or
again,
anything
do you
like
think this is the same as that tribalism? You have to pick which tribe and you get sent off to it before you're ready. Like, oh, I'm a little bit disabled, right? That's your thing. Get over there in the disabled camp. That's all you can bang on about.
Listen, I don't even, and it sounds like able, but I don't consider myself disabled. I am
Mentally.
technically and mentally I am, but I don't consider myself like
No,
yeah, I've got pain and shit, and
the
I
thing
can't
is,
do
knowing
certain
your
things, but I don't-
heritage and your background, you're the only person that actually got disabled to get the benefits. You've just got belt and braced it, haven't you? Everyone
Listen,
else is going.
look, for me, it's like this. Yeah, technically I'm disabled, my back's fucked and it hurts and stuff. But I'm not gonna what am I gonna do? I can either moan on my back, I can't do this, I can't do that, and talk about it and make it my whole boring personality, or I can like suck it up, fuck it. Like everyone's got in the fag zone. Everyone's
That's
got
what you
their
suck up.
fag zone. Everyone's got their pains
Everyone's got
and
a
shit
cross
they
to
deal with.
bear,
it.
haven't they?
Listen, and that's why codeine is being invented. That's why naproxen exists.
Yeah,
Although
yeah.
I am trying to stop doing that, so I need to find natural. I tell you the natural health
Well, you have
painkillers
to
I
be
use.
realistic. You remember when I had those amitriptyline and I completely freaked out.
Oh, did I give you some amitriptyline?
No, I got them from the doctor. I had a numb hand and it was a
I have to
trapped
take-
nerve in my neck.
So I have to take amitriptyline every night for nerve pain. 20
But they
milligrams.
didn't tell me it's an antidepressant. They didn't tell
Yeah.
me that.
Oh, so what
They
happened
didn't
when
tell
you
me
took
that.
it?
Mate, I completely weirded out. I was like, I didn't even know who I was. I was on stage and I was watching my mouth
Did you take it in
move.
the morning?
No, because they gave it to me in the afternoon and they said take it last thing at night.
Yeah.
But I was in so much pain by the time I got an appointment. It was like 3 weeks, and I just dropped one before I'd read the leaflet, and I was like, and then I took one the next night, and I slept so well, and my hand weren't numb at all. But I was just like, maybe I'm mental because I'm having panic attacks. And I remember when I took them, I was completely like self-conscious, and I couldn't. It was like I was watching myself do stuff out of body almost. Horrible. So I've got loads of them if you want them.
The Jussie Peanuts is selling you amitriptyline. Get in touch if you want some amitriptyline.
Yeah, and I tell you what, it does work with no side effects.
What?
High Point CBD products.
High Point CBD. Use code 3SP for 10% off all your High Point.
Really helps
CBD.
me with sleeping. And I've got to start taking them before gigs. That's what I'm going to do. Because I've nearly finished is it ashwagandha? What is it?
I've got some ashwagandha. Not.
I've got a CBD with ashwagandha from High Point CBD.
The-
ashwagandha
the-
forever.
The oil.
No, they're capsules. They're caps.
Nice.
Really work. I took one last night before bed. Slept so well.
Ashwagandha.
And the only thing,
Ashwagandha
what is
is meant
ashwagandha?
to, it's meant to kind of deal. It actually helps with anxiety, apparently. So yeah.
Well, I don't feel
I've been
anxious. That's the weird thing.
I've been taking ashwagandha just for the last few days, but not as just on its own. I don't have those ashwagandha.
Yeah,
pills.
yeah. I want to. I'm thinking about microdosing mushrooms forever, just never stopping. Because I think the benefits of that look pretty good.
Have you got? I've got. Oh, I don't have any. It's been flushed
Yeah,
down
good.
the
If you
toilet.
did, if it's a good job you haven't. But if you did, I might come down and have some with you.
Bags
We'll have to talk about when we're not going to do that.
I've got some shroom chocolate, or I know someone who can get shroom chocolate, so I haven't done that yet. But I've got shroom
Yeah, but I'm
chocolate.
keto.
That's how you do it.
This is
Otherwise it
90%. Before anyone calls me a hypocrite, there's very low carbs in that.
Dark chocolate's disgusting.
Nah, it's the best. It's like a solid, strong black coffee.
Have
It's like
something.
eating an espresso. It's delicious.
I disagree.
Yeah, but you can't drink coffee. How bad is your back getting worse?
Yeah, my back's getting worse. It's getting more. It's getting. It's not going to get better, is it? I mean,
No, it's not going to get better.
To be honest,
I feel bad now. You went
the
on that
lockdown.
little,
The lockdown fucked up my back. So before
Yeah,
that,
you
I was
fucked up a lot of
training. I was able to go to osteopath. I was on top of it. But then lockdown, just doing nothing.
Lockdown fucked me bad. Look at the state of this. I looked good before lockdown. It's all lockdown. It
I mean,
fucked
that's
everyone.
Subjective.
I look better than this. I went from... What did I go from? I was a tender little chicken wing to full gammon. That's where I've gone on the butcher counter.
You were a little twink, and
I
now
was a little
you're.
twinkie. I used to see the way I used to budge around the dance floor, mate.
That's
You
mad.
should have
And
seen it.
But wait, what were we saying? So now she's just online moaning about, oh, Mum, I'm disabled. It's just nothing to do with
What
comedy.
a bitter, horrible way she reacted.
But
to
her
your
whole
thing with
life,
her, though.
her whole
Yeah,
life.
I didn't know that.
She's
yeah.
just a bitter person. Like, it really bitter, and it was funny. So basically, she gave me this terrible review. You can find it on Chortle if you look at one of the reviews. It's there somewhere. And I was like, I messaged her like on Facebook, which I probably shouldn't have done, but I was like, oh, thanks for your review. I read it, but I'm going to say gold plated. And she went, I'm going to tell everyone. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I'm going to tell everyone, and I'm going to make sure if you say this, and you're not going to get booked anywhere. But this is how you know how spiteful she is.
Add a cry bully. That's a cry bully. I'm going to say this horrible thing to you, but if you say one thing back, I'm the victim.
But she actually went out and told clubs not to book me. It held me back for a long time. And I remember I was at a gig. I was actually at a competition of the gig, and one of the judges were there, and I was talking to him. He goes, oh, yeah, I heard about you. I was like, oh. And he goes, and he was a bitch as well, that guy. I remember him. He was a dickhead. I thought in his name. He's out of comedy as well. And he was like, so-and-so told me about you. And I remember thinking, that bitch. And it did. I genuinely, I think that held me back in comedy. That and me being shit at comedy also held me back.
Well, it was gold-plated shit.
Gold-plated shit, baby.
So come on. They say you can't polish a turd, but you can plate it in gold, apparently.
Actually, a gold-plated shit's pretty good because you don't actually touch the shit and it's plated.
It's got some intrinsic value, hasn't it?
If she had said a gold leaf encrusted shit, that would have been actually more insulting because you could put your finger through it.
A shit that's been coloured in with one of them silver pens they used to get out at school at Christmas. You know, the silver metallic pens.
The funnest pen in the world.
Yeah, you only got it at Christmas. They used to let you draw like bits of like holly and stuff with it.
I bet your school had a TV on a...
Yeah. No, we had a projector, mate, like a wind-up one, and a gramophone. They had to sync it up. And no, they had a gramophone, and a bloke would come up playing the organ, looking over his shoulder. That's how long ago that was.
That's fun. We've done an hour. Is there anything else that we should talk about? We want to say that we said we were going to chat about. I think the Patreon episode was better this week.
Oh yeah, so become a Patreon and go watch that. That was way good, wasn't it?
The Patreon. So what we sometimes do is we think, oh, let's record the Patreon to get in the flow and then start the main episode afterwards. And other times we record the main and then the Patreon. But this week, the Patreon was great.
Yeah, but it's only us two holding the fort, isn't it, Gov?
It's always listen. Just get used to it. It's always going to be only us two with sporadic appearances. by
I got, and then yeah,
Cajun
I've
sensation.
started to get some hate, which because someone said, "Oh, Justin, on one hand wants to joke about stuff, but then sometimes is serious. You can't have it both ways." It's just like, what? I'm not a fucking one-dimensional Simpsons character.
You can't have
Of course,
you can't tell jokes and be serious. Are you crazy?
yeah. I see his point. No, he's right in a way, but that's just what I'm fucking around, mate. Don't take it too seriously. Don't take the jokes. Well, I don't know. Take the jokes a bit seriously and take the serious stuff as a bit of a joke. That's my advice.
That's good advice.
Good advice. Gold-plated garbage.
Just quickly before we go, what about that video of Lawrence Fox getting called a racist in a pub and then the guy running away?
I've just said the expression "cry bully." I think that is exactly what it was coined about, wasn't it?
Let me see if I can find it. Elsa's calling me. I'm doing the podcast.
That was the effect they had on women on chat roulette.
What?
As soon as they saw me, bye. Just my big sweaty face on a screen like that.
Let me just bring this up. So this is the video. Should we watch the video or not? Oh fuck it, let's just tell it. The video is too long and boring to watch.
Yeah, basically, I'll go and you say.
Well, you say.
Well, Lawrence Fox was talking to this journalist, whoever, in the pub, and a punter in the pub went to the manager of the pub and said, "By the way, there's a racist in here," and tried to get him thrown out. So then they told the journalist and Lawrence Fox, and I think the journalist went over to the punter and said, what's he done racist? And he just was like, leave me alone. And then Lawrence Fox went over. Was like, what did I say? And he was going, just leave me alone. I'm just trying to get on with my life, man. It's like, no, you weren't trying to get on with your life. We were trying to get someone thrown out. And this, I guess, is the same as the what you were saying, Tommy Robinson thing. I mean, he's not in prison. He hasn't got, as far as I know, any restraining orders against him. But just because of who they are, you're not allowed to be in certain places all of a sudden. That doesn't seem like an egalitarian society.
What was funny, though, or what was interesting, is as soon as he was confronted, they backed down and they pussy out.
It couldn't have been an online anonymous troll, wasn't it? He was just a bloke over there in the corner of the pub. But once he became front and centre and held accountable, he didn't have anywhere to go or back it up. He bailed and they followed him down the street. It was quite funny.
But I think that's the situation for like brands, life, everything. It's like too many people have just allowed everything to be pussied and walked over.
The nightmares are the loudest, aren't they? The nightmare people are the ones that shout the loudest, and the squeaky wheel gets the oil, I guess. So they are the ones that seem to have the concessions made in their favour. The vocal complainers get what they want. I was in a KFC yesterday, and there was this really posh woman in there with her son. He had a little blazer and everything. He looked like a right fucking tool. He looked like a fucking.
How old was he?
Like young, like about 7 or 8.
Yeah, bully a 7 or 8.
He's not here, but he had like a stripy, like he looked like an umpire from Wimbledon or something, and he even had like the little voice. And they obviously never been to a KFC. Like she'd picked him up from some fucking school, where they play like croquet and shit. And they've gone in this.
I bet their
KFC.
School didn't have a projector with a styrofoam.
So they go. No, they probably had like people acting it out like RSC or something. So they go to. She ordered this chicken. And she went back up. Can I speak to the manager? And this manager came around, who was about 12. And she went, look, this is unacceptable, how greasy this is. So I just put it in the bin. And then, because her and her son had eaten a bit each, and then this bloke went, I'll get you another one. And she chucked this chicken in the bin. And it would have been exactly the same. It was just KFC chicken on the bone. It can be a bit like that. And she walked out with this bucket. And my girlfriend was like, oh, that's someone that's never been to KFC. I said, she's done that. They're the worst, them posh fuckers, for trying to like scam and game the Saint for nothing. Mm-hmm. Like, I bet they'd thought, we'll go in there, we'll eat 2 or 3 bits, then complain and take a bucket home for the rest of the family. But she was so posh in KFC, it was so funny. This is an unacceptable amount of oil. I mean, look in the bottom of the bucket, it's all dripping.